The 2025 NCAA March Madness Men's Tournament is back, and this time it is bringing all the feels. The biggest event in college sports tips off March 18th, and you don't want to miss a second of the heart-pumping action. Catch all the clutch shots, big-time plays, upsets, Cinderellas, Blue Bloods, and more. Tune in to the NCAA Men's Division I Basketball Championship March 18th through April 7th on TBS, CBS, TNT, True TV, and Stream on Max.
With the Venmo debit card, you can turn the spa day that your friends paid you back for
into concert tickets that you can earn up to 5% cash back on.
Where a spa day with the girls becomes concert tickets. Visit venmo.me/debit to learn more. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Terms apply. Dosh cashback terms apply.
We are Rogue Media Sports.
Hello, baseball fans, and welcome to this episode of A Visit to the Mound. I'm Lark Smith, and he is
Stan Huff.
Today we are talking with former Major League second baseman Dave Machemer, who has also spent a lot of his baseball career as a minor league manager. Dave, thanks for joining us today for A Visit to the Mound.
Well, it's my pleasure. Really happy about it.
Of the hundreds of thousands of players who have played Major League Baseball, you are part of a small group that managed to hit a home run in your very first Major League at-bat. Tell us what you remember about that day.
Well, I remember this, Lark. It was the only one I hit. But, and that's why I remember it so well. But, it was special. It was a long journey. It was something that I'll always relish, and people always bring it up, and I always say, could you repeat that, please?
Did you get it all, or did you get it up in the air and the wind blow it out?
I got it all, Stan, but it hooked around the foul pole, or the fair pole, or whatever you want to say it. Actually, it's a funny story, because when I hit it, we were playing against the Twins, and I was leading off the game, and I was running to first, and I knew I hit it good. It was a 3-2 pitch, and when I hit it, I go, man, I hit that good. And I'm trying to watch it because I knew it was down the line. As I'm running down the line, I'm watching the ball, and I kind of lost track where I was. And all of a sudden, I saw the umpire do the circle above his head like, oh, my God, it's a home run. I took 2 steps to second base, and I heard my first base coach, Bob Clear. He said, hey, Choo-Choo, because he called, that was my nickname from him. He goes, Choo-Choo, you might want to come back and touch first. I completely missed the base as I ran by it, came back, touched the base, and then I circled the bases, and John McNamara gave me the high five at third. And one of the special things I do remember about it is that when I crossed home plate and got to the dugout, the first person actually that greeted me, and he literally picked me up over his head, and he was Nolan Ryan. So that was a great memory.
That's pretty good. Nolan Ryan. Well, yeah. Mac and I played ball against each other, and where I first met him was he was loaned out to the Orioles in Rochester, and I was in Tidewater. That's where we got together first. And then,
yes, it was, Stan.
Yeah.
How do you get loaned out as a ball player?
Well, that's easy.
Well,
I thought either you played for an organization or...
Well, they don't do it that much anymore. But back then, there was things that happened, on the team you were on, and I was in the big leagues with the Tigers. I got Rule 5 that year, and I broke camp with the big league club, and I wasn't playing much, and they sent me down to AAA Evansville, and Jimmy Leland was our manager. And I thought, gee, and Les Moss was our manager at the time. Of course, Sparky Anderson later took over when Les got let go. But I was told, well, you're going to go to Evansville, and we want you to play more. Well, after 4 days of sitting the bench in AAA, I decided to knock on Jimmy Leland's door. And anybody that knows Jim Leland, you better tread lightly on what it is you're going to say to him and what you're going to hear from him, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So, at that time, he was very, very knee-deep with the Detroit organization. He had his individuals. I believe, looking back on it now, he had bred those kids since they were young out of A-ball when he managed them, and now he's in AAA, and he played a little bit of a favoritism towards some of those guys. And, I wasn't playing it when I went in there and talked to him and, asked him about it. He said, well, we're playing good right now, Mac, and Mark DeJohn's my shortstop, Jerry Manuel's my third baseman, and Tom Brookins is my third baseman. Take some fly balls in the outfield. Well, hadn't taken a fly ball in probably 4 or 5 years, hadn't played the outfield. But I said, hey, Jimmy, whatever you need. And it just seemed like we got off on a little bit of a wrong foot, cross-eyed a little bit between us. I love the guy, and we will remain friends the rest of my life. But I wasn't getting the playing time there. So then they found that the Rochester needed someone. There were some injuries over there. Wayne Krenchicki had broken his ankle. They needed a second baseman. So Doc Edwards knew me from previous years when I played in a Texas league against Doc, and he brought me over, and I played every day at second base for Rochester. And I got hot with a bat, and fortunately, about 3 weeks later, I got called back to the big league. So it was a good situation for me.
Yeah, what they do is he's still a member of the Detroit Tigers.
Okay,
but
he's just playing with the Orioles.
But they can loan you out, and to get the same thing happened with Ron Washington with us in Tidewater. He was a member. He was with the Minnesota Twins or Los Angeles Dodgers. I can't remember, but he was loaned out to us in AAA. He played the whole year with us in AAA, and I think he went back after that.
Wow.
So
interesting.
Well, that's it's
they don't do it as much now as they used to, but back in the day, it was fairly common to see guys that bounced around and just to get more playing time and get on the field more.
Yeah, the Tigers didn't want to get rid of him. They wanted him to play though, and they didn't have a spot. That's
right.
That's how that worked out.
Okay.
I actually played with Ron Washington in Toledo, the end of my career.
Yeah, he played with everybody, I think. I played against him when we first started. Then I'm playing. We're together at the Tidewater. Next thing you know, I'm coaching him in Oklahoma City. I went, what's going on here?
Who, Ronnie?
Yeah. He played for us in Oklahoma City. I mean, he was getting old by then, but he
played till he was 53, I think.
Look, he could play, and he played hard, and he enjoyed it every day, and he was just a great guy to be around. That's for sure.
No, he's a super guy, and I'm just so happy at the success that he had. He's still in a big league manager.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't ask for any more.
You bet. Now, okay, so after the playing time, you started managing. What organization were you managing with? You got
the Milwaukee Brewers.
Milwaukee Brewers. You got over 1,000 wins as a minor league manager. That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's a grind, as Stan knows, because Stan was one of my coaches in Clinton, Iowa.
Oh yeah, we don't need to go there.
Was things not good in Clinton?
Don't discuss that yet.
We had way too much fun that year. Yeah.
No, I got a lot of great memories of managing. I mean, I look back at the players that I had. It's always about the players. It's not about you as a manager. And gosh, looking back, I had Buster Posey, Gary Sheffield, Greg Vaughn, B.J. Surhoff. I used to tell Sheffield when he played for me in Bonnie, I said, you know what, guys? Someday you're going to make between $750,000 and $1 million in this game. I was a little off.
Yeah,
it was just a touch.
Yeah. Is there anybody that Sheffield has not played for? Because usually when I fill out that immaculate grid thing, usually I can put Sheffield in any of those squares, and he's correct answer.
Well, Gary was a very special talent, and Gary was somewhat temperamental at times, and there was people in organizations that didn't know how to handle him because Tom Trebelhorn actually, when he went up to the Brewers, I still remember getting a call one time and said, Mac, how did you handle this kid? And I go, I treated him like a man, okay? He's a boy in a man's body, but you need to treat him like a man. And he was temperamental, but I'll tell you what, when he got the bat in his hands, there was nobody that had better bat speed and hit a ball harder than Gary Sheffield.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, okay, so Milwaukee, after Milwaukee, where'd you head off to?
Oh, let's see. After Milwaukee, went to the Montreal Expos for 5 years. I switched from being a manager to being an infield coordinator and a coordinator of instruction.
Yeah.
I got a call, and they were interested in me in becoming an instructor, and I had been an instructor at the end of my career with the Brewers, and so I went ahead and took the job, and it turned out good. I mean, I branched off with different things for my career as far as, not being a manager, being an instructor and a coordinator. So I learned a lot about the insights of what goes on behind the scenes with moving players and things like that. So, it was good. And I was there 5 years, and then, things happen. I mean, people change in the front office, and when they do, Stan, this, they bring their own people in. And after the Expos, I was looking for a job after 5 years because we had new people come in, and actually I went back to the Brewers for a couple of years, which was kind of funny.
I know that too well. You're right.
Yeah. Then I went to the Orioles. Then I went back to the Expos.
Oh, you're making the rounds here.
Yeah.
Then I went to the Giants, and then I went back to the Orioles.
Well, there you go. Now,
So anyway, my limit on my time with a team, I always figured it out, was 10 years because I have 10 years with 4 different teams.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, 40-year career. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Well, it was actually 38. I think there was somebody that I was 8 years, but I always say 10 years they got sick of me, so I was gone.
Close enough for government work.
Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Now, there have been some so-called improvements to the game recently, like the pitch clock and infield shift rule. What's your take on all these changes?
Well, at first I was really against that pitch clock, but I've kind of settled in with that. I think it moves the game along. I think it moves the tempo along, where the pitchers aren't walking around the mound and they're waiting to throw the pitch and they're scratching themselves and all that. So I think it's moved the game along in a good way. Some of the other things, as far as the slide rule at home, I want to protect every player. I think it takes away the element of some of the parts of the game that to me was exciting because I was a guy that I wasn't afraid of contact at home plate as a base runner. And I felt it was no holds barred when I came in, and Stan knows this looking back at the day because I know people tried to run over him, and that was part of the game.
They did run over me. But the good part about that
got
was
run over by a truck.
I got to return the favor. So yeah, they did. I got run over pretty much. Go ahead.
But all the bigger bases and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, I was a base stealer. Would that have helped me? I stole almost 300 bases in the minor leagues. Would it help me still steal 350? Maybe. I don't know. But, they're wearing those oven mitts that are, 8 inches long so you slide in. Come on.
Yeah, no, oven mitt. That's a pretty good one.
That's exactly what I call it.
What do you think about – I saw a spring training game the other day where the guy takes off for second. The catcher throws a bullet down there and throws him out. But since the infielder, the shortstop, had his foot in front of second base, they called the guy safe. There was no contact.
I hate it. I don't like that at all. I don't think that should be a part of the game. I think, once again, I wasn't afraid of contact around the bag. When you had a guy like Lonnie Smith coming on you, trying to take you out on a double play, was one of the hardest sliders in the game. I knew it, and I was aware of that. And that, to me, made the game more any part of the game more exciting because you didn't know what was going to happen. I still remember him bearing down on me on a game in Venezuela, and I'll tell you, man, I just got out of there. We're going to clean my clock. Can you remember him, Stan?
Oh yeah. Well, it's Bobby Johnson ran over me in Tulsa one night, and I swear, I don't think I've been hit that hard in football. I said, Bobby, I'm going to get you back.
You're probably playing Mozart in your head like you can on that when you tickle the ivory.
Oh, that's something else. Yeah,
Lark, he can Stan's a piano player that can play Mozart and all kinds of stuff. I bet you didn't know that.
I knew he could play chopsticks.
I can do. Wait a minute, I can do a little better than chopsticks.
Oh no, he can. He put me into shock one day when he played that. When he sat down at that piano.
Yeah, I think we'd had a few drinks too before that.
Well, I can't imagine him ever taking piano lessons, but maybe he did. Maybe Mama kept put a ruler over his head and said, "You're going to practice this." I
don't know. I used to on the road. I used to find some of the hotels we stayed. They had a ballroom with a piano. I used to go find the piano. Next thing you know, everybody's bringing their beer, I wasn't getting anything out of it anyway. I was actually by myself.
Did anybody buy you a beer?
Well, no, they gave me a beer though.
No tips?
Well, yeah, the tip was don't bet on the horses. That was how they get.
Oh, and don't roll a 7-Eleven.
Don't roll the 7-Eleven or a hard 8. Yeah.
Hard 8.
Oh God. Well, I will tell this one story with Dave and I. When we were at Clinton, it was on the Mississippi River, and beyond the left field there was a casino boat.
Okay.
So
Gambling boat, yeah.
Yeah, we used to go out there. We got to know everybody. I know we were putting them on the pass list at the game. So we're
getting free buffets.
There you go.
Exactly. So Martha comes up to Clinton. She says, "Oh, there's a party boat. Have you been out there?" I said, "No."
No.
We go on the party boat. Everybody's going, "Hey, Stan. Hey, where's Dave?" Oh, wait, God, shut up.
We had fun, Stan, I'll tell you.
That was, and it was a good time with everybody. Lydia, yeah. Oh, that's another one. Remember
that was our lady we stayed with at her house.
Older lady. She rented a couple rooms out to us, and one night we're in the living room, and I saw something, a shadow, and Dave goes, "What was that?" He said, "It was a bat." It was a big bat, like that flies, those kind of bats.
Batman type bat.
We thought the house was possessed. We finally got it out
Oh,
of the house.
boy.
Yeah, that was quite a night that night. But, well, anyway, Clinton was great. I enjoyed it a lot. So, well,
Just
listen.
part of our journey, Stanley.
It was. Well, listen.
I got one other question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
You're now the head coach of the Lakeshore Lancers, a high school baseball team in Michigan. Just how different is that from coaching minor league baseball?
Well, one thing that's different is in pro ball when you manage, you may meet one of the parents, but it's never like you communicate or talk to them on the phone.
True.
It's not like they call you and ask you, "Why didn't my son start last night?" Well, in high school, these parents have watched their kids just like our parents watched us play since we were 8, 9 years old. So, of course, they think their son is the best since sliced bread. Well, some of those kids get passed by other players, and they're better. So, I want to make everybody happy. I want to play everyone, but high school is very competitive now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like everybody, we're going to hand out a participation trophy to these kids. I mean, hey, our high school here, we play to win. And a lot of times the parents, they don't get it. They just don't understand it. And I got not many, but I got a few phone calls last year about certain things about why my son's not playing the position he played his entire life, and why isn't my son hitting third in the lineup and those things. And I just have to, and I told him, I will talk to you and I'll explain to the best of my ability from my experience in baseball for the past 50 years why I make the decisions I make. And I'll be happy to talk to you. Some of them are happy and some of them aren't so happy, but that's just the way it is. That's the way life is nowadays.
My answer to most of
But
those
I really
parents,
enjoy it. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, my answer to most of those parents were, if you want to coach this team, you go ahead and you get your teaching certificate and you come in here and you take care of this because,
well, yeah,
it's my decision to make. Otherwise, I'll let you do it.
Yeah, I mean, the former coach retired. Anybody could apply for the job.
Sure.
So why didn't you apply for the job if you're so smart?
Well, no kidding. Yeah, that's the stuff you run in. That's what I.
And I hate to. I try not to say that to parents. I try not to be sarcastic. I try to be, friendly. But I have to sometimes be honest. And when they ask me a question, I tell them. In fact, what's ironic about it is tonight I have my parent student athlete meeting with I have all my kids come in with the parents, and I explain exactly what I'm telling you guys, that, hey, you're more than welcome to call me, but when you ask me a question, be careful what you're going to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I tell them. And I don't try to be smart about it or be an ass about it in any way. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, don't ask a question you don't really want the answer to.
Or you don't want to hear the true answer.
I understand.
So anyway.
I hear you. Anyway, well, Dave, that's about it. I know you got to get out there on the field with those big Lancers. So
I got to go pull out the machines, all the L screens, the cage, and everything else. I don't have any grounds crew out there waiting for
you got to rake the field too.
Oh no, it's turf.
There you go. Hey.
Woohoo!
All right, man.
Facility. I got to Stan.
Yeah.
$23 million field house here at this high school.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh!
Outstanding.
Oh yeah. It's pretty good.
There's some colleges down here that kill for that.
No
Boy,
kidding.
and they're paying me the big bucks.
Oh, the big bucks.
Yeah, I bet.
Art 8.
That is our time for
All
this
right,
episode.
guys.
You bet.
That's our time for this episode of A Visit to the Mound. Many thanks to our guest, Dave Machemer. If you have any questions or comments, anything you would like for us to cover, we would love to hear from you. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at A Visit to the Mound or on our website as avisittothemound.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, and review this podcast and be listening the next time we take a visit to the mound.
We are Rogue Media Sports.